And welcome to the next stage of training within the Microsoft Suite, particularly the use of Windows Explorer. Dragging and dropping within the Microsoft Suite of products is simple but very often underutilized. Drag and drop is usable in many circumstances, so I'm going to demonstrate this outside Windows Explorer, within Windows Explorer, and from Windows Explorer to another application. The first example I will give is within Microsoft Word. You will notice that within this at the moment I have a paragraph of green formatted text. When I select this paragraph, it turns into the negative. And you'll be familiar with this already. But when I point my mouse in the middle of the negative area and drag it and let the mouse go, the paragraph has moved. However, if I undertake exactly the same steps, but prior to releasing the mouse button, I hold down my Control key on the keyboard. You'll notice that a plus key is demonstrated at the base of the mouse pointer. Now when I let the mouse go, it has copied the text rather than moved it. The only difference in the steps that I took was holding down the Control key prior to releasing the mouse key. If you select text and you drag it, you move it. If you select text and hold down your Control key before releasing the mouse, you copy it. This may be for a series of words, or it might be a whole sentence, or it might be a paragraph. Whatever you have selected, you will either move it or copy it by dragging. Similarly, if I'm working in Excel, I may have a series of cells with data contained in it. If I select those cells or part of those cells, I can select them and drag. This moves it. If I do exactly the same thing, but before I release the mouse key or hold down my Control key, I again have the plus key. Now if I let go of my mouse key first, I now copy it. Similarly, if I hold a whole column and I drag it, I move it. If I drag it, hold down my Control key, I copy it. This is more interesting when you go from application to application. So if I select this data table and I drag it, I may drop it into a Word document. In this case, it's no longer in Excel. I moved it. Now I will drag it back into the Word document, hold down my Control key to get the plus before I release it. It is now in the Word document and in the Excel spreadsheet. Similar circumstances work within PowerPoint. In this case, I have two PowerPoint presentations open. I simply opened them both of them and then I selected Windows and Arrange All. In this situation, I might want to copy a slide from one presentation into another. So I navigate through one slide presentation. I select the slide that I choose to be in the second application. I simply drag and drop. Now notice in this circumstance that the plus key is already demonstrated without me holding the Control key. In this situation, dragging from one presentation to another, the assumption is by Microsoft PowerPoint that I am going to copy from one presentation to another, not move. The plus key is the indicator. Again, if I choose this slide, which I'm going to drag into this presentation, it automatically comes up with a plus key. So if I did not want the slide to be in the other presentation, I would need to go back and delete it. Now, the benefits of drag and drop are all around the different Microsoft products. You may, for example, have many files that you want to attach to an email. In this situation, I have a blank email open and ready. I return to Windows Explorer. I navigate to where the files are. I can select individual files. I can select one and drag and drop it into the email. If you choose one file and then shift click on another file, it will choose all of the sequential files in between, and then I can click and drag and drop into the email. And I now have a number of files attached. The other option you have is to select files by choosing the first one and then Control select other files, which allows you to choose more than one file that are not in sequence. And again, I can click in one of those and drag it and drop it and attach them into the email. This is also usable within Explorer exclusively. You may, for example, have had an injury incident that you have taken digital photographs of, and you want to record this and save it within your Occupation Health and Safety Management System. Now, most digital cameras now have a card that can be read either by a PC, a laptop, or within a card reader. When you attach these to a PC, it simply comes up as an extra readable media within Windows Explorer. So by choosing the different views within Explorer, you can choose which files you want to copy across. Select the files, one or more as the case may be, and again just drag and drop them into your Occupation Health and Safety incident area. Now this isn't just from cameras to network drives, it's from network drives to other network drives. It is from one folder to another folder. It's from one environment to another environment. That you do not need to save these files onto your desktop or into a third step. You can simply drag and drop. Windows Explorer really is the glue that holds all these applications together. And it is likely that you can demand a great deal more from this simple application than you have in the past.